Hello and welcome to another edition of the Aussie Ideas Man. I don't want to be too pedantic about this, but I'm just going to run through the video called APTERA Armchair Quarterbacks, Haters and Community by, um, what's that? The APTERA's Owners Club, that's right. I should know. I watch him probably 3 times a week. And I disagree with this guy's ethics. I guess I disagree with his judgment. There's a lot I disagree with. And this is a follow-up to the video I made yesterday that just put down all the comments I wrote because I'm blocked on his comment section. I write them, they show up on my computer, of course, and I just copy and paste them over to a site where I'm not blocked because I'm in control. So if you haven't read those comments, I recommend you read the comments. But I did promise him that I'd make a video, and so this is it. I'll be quick about it. Nothing written down, of course. I'm pretty much a lazy sod, and when it comes to writing text and reading from homemade teleprompters, it's just too much effort for the few people who watch me. Sorry about that, but one day, after a lot of practice, I might do things properly. Well, let's get in and see what I have to say about his comments.
The bottom line is that the environment for startups, the financial environment is very challenging. And even when it's not challenging, bringing a vehicle to market is a very tough endeavor, regardless. So this is a very high-risk investment proposition in APTERA. Now, we all want them to succeed, and I think they will, because every time I interact with the team at APTERA, I always leave very impressed. Everyone from the CEO to the CMO to the other public relations people and the engineers, they all seem very smart, very capable. And I think what's funny is I read all your comments and I find them very interesting. So thanks for all the comments. I really do learn a lot from the comments, and and you guys think about things that I hadn't thought about. So keep the comments coming. But I do notice that there is a lot of armchair quarterbacking going on in the comments, which is fine. Everyone loves to be an armchair quarterback, and it's a fun thing to do. But what I find funny is the idea that we are people that are just fans of this thing, or some of us are haters of the thing, and we believe that we would do a better job than people for which it is their full-time job.
Okay, so I'll just start here. The cretin brings up this term haters, and it's used a lot by all the gullible fanboys. Haters. Now, it's an emotive thing and it's unwarranted. It's wrong to say it. Nobody has ever said, I hate APTERA. I have never seen a comment by anyone that says, I hate APTERA. There have been people that don't believe it'll ever get produced. There are people that, like me, think it's a scam. None of them, like me, think it's a second scam and that they were successful with a scam the first time around. But in either case, hate is absent from any of their comments. And yet, so many of these so-called influencers, or people who try to influence, say that there are haters around. It's not something you hate. It's just one more of many probably failed products. It's nothing to hate at all. In fact, all the time that I've been looking at APTERA, I have been a pretty large skeptic, and I have valid reasons for being skeptical about things, which I always explain. But in all of that, if the concept is viable, if the skin cooling works and the solar adds sufficient energy to be viable, if the vehicle proves to be fit for purpose, then I will stand in line and buy one. I just am the sort of person who buys things that are already there in the showroom floor. I don't buy on snake oil promises. But there's no hate. There's nothing I hate about it. I'm actually amused by a lot of it going on. It's just a lot of fun to say things that are questionable about the process, the whole process of getting a product to market. So if you're gullible, be swayed by people like the cretin here who put us in a box and label us as all haters when none of us are haters. It's a lie.
To shepherd this thing. It's just like all the people who feel like they could do a better job of being an NFL quarterback than actual NFL quarterbacks.
Oh, here we go again. I have never claimed to be able to do a better job at building an EV. Not at all, not once. I have never claimed to be, or even want to, build an EV. So he's leading you down a path, excuse the pun, while he's running down a path, but he's leading gullible people down a path with these suggestions when in most cases, and I can only speak for myself with any certainty, but I would believe the evidence from what other people write. Again, just like them not saying that they hate APTERA, I see no texts that say they think they can do a better job. But he's leading people down this path. And it's, once again, misdirection in basically a lie.
Which I think is a fun delusion to have, but it's probably not true. Because whenever...
Well, I think he's deluded if he thinks along these lines. There are two delusions right there.
Whenever I bring up things that I've thought about and that you guys have thought about in the comments, I realize, yeah, they've thought about it. They've thought about it, and there are reasons that they're not doing it. Cost reasons, supply chain reasons, other reasons. Now, there are a few times that they didn't consider what people wanted, just like the DC fast charging, and they quickly changed gears on that. And you know, they're people, they're gonna make mistakes. So it's not like they're infallible, but overall, I feel like they're very smart, capable people running the company, and they are doing the best job they can. And I believe that it's a team that's going to be able to bring it to market and make it successful.
His beliefs are somewhat irrelevant if we look deeply into the nitty-gritty of everything going on while this product is supposed to be being brought to market, or at least promised. If you really drill down into the detail, you will see that he's got let's say a delusional, as he uses the word, a delusional opinion of it. He goes and meets the people. He thinks they appear smart. He thinks they know what they're doing, but he's got no basis in facts. And what he does have is skin in the game. He's wanting to get as many $1,000 discounts as he possibly can. He's doing this for money. He's got ulterior motives. Keep that in mind. Be wary of where you get advice from. Look at why they might be giving it.
Now, the last thing I want to talk about is there are a few people in the comments that aren't just here to give alternative viewpoints. They just want to rant. And I like a bit of healthy skepticism. I'm a little bit of a skeptic myself and a contrarian.
Now that's just a little tactic to make gullible people think that he's a fair person. He's even a skeptic himself. He's contrary. And yet what he's going to do is, while saying it's acceptable, what he's going to do in the long run is say it's not on. It's a ploy.
Appreciate that. But some people just come on the comments and they just repeat the same thing, like APTERA is a scam, all the people at APTERA are liars, they don't know what the hell they're doing.
That sounds like me, but there are others, a few, just a few. There would be a lot more if most of them weren't blocked. But on that point about he doesn't like repetition, the nature of YouTube is such that each video that's put out has a new audience. And that new audience, some of them are the same people, but many of them could be new people. And it's on an individual basis. And therein lies the reason why the skeptics like to rewrite in new videos what they've already written. This repetition is valid. There's good reason for it. They will be getting new readers each time they rewrite it. That's logical. And to this guy, who to me is one of the most illogical people I've ever met, he says it's a wrong thing to do. He just says no, they have no right to do that. And it's contrary to how the system works. In the meantime, there are dozens and dozens and dozens, including him, that repeat so much in their videos. Repetitive and unsubstantiated, gossip and lies that they pass on. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And he has no right to discredit people who, on new videos and on comments to new people, say the same things. It's just natural.
This whole thing is a lie. I mean, sure, come on the comments. There's some people, I noticed they come on the comments, they've watched the video or two, they've come to the conclusion that it's a terrible idea or the company's going to fail. They say so and they leave. I respect that. They've evaluated it for themselves and they decided that they think it's a non-viable thing and they leave. What I don't understand is people that stick around and watch every single video and comment on every video saying the exact same thing over and over again.
Well, I've just explained it, and the very fact that he doesn't understand it tells me he has very little understanding. He can't use his brain well enough.
What purpose does that serve? I think everyone...
It tells all the new people the things that they haven't heard before. That's the purpose.
Already knows what those people's viewpoints are, and just repeating it over and over again just ruins the vibe.
That's too bad for the people that are watching things over and over again, but they should expect that. It's part of the process. It's the norm. If they don't want to hear it over and over again, it's them who have heard it once or twice before and know it to then just go away themselves. Why should the people who are providing information to new viewers have to go away and not provide that information? Let the people who dislike being told multiple times just go away. They know it.
And obviously, this is a community of fans of the company and of the vehicle. And so If you're just here to rain on people's parade by repeating the same thing, that's just pointless.
There's another salient point in this, is that people who actually believe in skin cooling and solar being right for vehicles, moving vehicles, people who believe in this unsubstantiated nonsense, and that's what it is so far. It's unsubstantiated. If it was a factual thing, then people wouldn't be skeptical. But skin cooling has never been done in 100-odd years of motoring. And solar on moving vehicles has been tried and shown to be ineffective. Too much effort, little return. Too much cost, no value in it. But what we have here is snake oil salesmen saying that these things are real. And what we need to do is get evidence, real evidence. If they say they're real, get the real evidence. It's that simple. We shouldn't let the charade go on and on. And as I said, they're looking for new investors and new people all the time. Why can't the skeptics make their points before those people put their hands in their pockets and outlay money that they are extremely likely to lose? There's no reason for it.
And I'm probably going to block you at some point.
Yes, block you at some point because it doesn't help his agenda. It doesn't help his agenda at all. That's the reason. That's the core reason. It also violates the First Amendment or the Constitution. I'm not a lawyer by any stretch of the imagination, but you don't need to be a lawyer to know that these things are contrary to what ethical standards the United States was formed upon. You shouldn't have to have it written into law to be this ethical. You should just allow people freedom of speech. Whether you agree with it or disagree with it, whether you have plans or motives or whatever, the ethical thing to do is to allow freedom of speech. YouTube itself has a method of dealing with unsavory language, and let YouTube do that job. YouTube is not great at it, but there's no need to take over. What the individual usually does is make a worse fist of it than YouTube does.
But if you're here to give viewpoints and say, hey, I don't think this is going to work for this reason, and you come up with different material every time, stuff for me and other people to think about, yes, I welcome those comments, and those are fine.
I was going to mention this as a salient point, and I think I lost my frame of mind, but the track I was going down is that when people are gullible, one telling of a important point is usually not enough, simply because their IQ is not up to having them realise a message in the first instance. Some people need the message 3 times over, some need it 10 times over. And so the more gullible a person is, the more times they need to hear it. So that's another reason why a bit of repetition is a good thing. In fact, if it wasn't for his wanting all those financial benefits from his channel, if he didn't want the financial benefits, he would probably realise these things himself. And it's his motives that block his mind to the messages.
But if people are here just to be basically a wet blanket on everything, and just repeat the same thing, just come up with some new material. If you don't come up with new material, then there's no point in having you repeat the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I can say that for people who actually make videos, there are hundreds and hundreds of videos about APTERA that have no new material in it at all. They just are jumping on the bandwagon, so to speak. Most of them have this go through me to make a deposit. Well, what do they call it? A pre-order, that's it. My goodness, a pre-order. But what they supply is no new material. They supply the same unsubstantiated drivel that is fed to them by the biggest snake oil salesman of them all, Chris Anthony. There is nothing proven. And I'll make some examples. The 0 to 60 miles per hour time, they took it down a drag strip and turned off the timing lights so that nobody could see what it was. They just claim it. The weight, they've never weighed it. They'd say, oh, it's about this, and everybody has to just accept it. The top speed, somebody did a calculation of the maximum revs of the elapsing motors and then worked out the diameter of the wheel, and his calculations went these things would not get over 82 miles per hour. But all they need to do is just run it with a radar gun and show us the top speed in real terms, in reality. But they don't. They say it's once was 110. They've pared it back to 102, but it's still 20 miles an hour above what somebody has calculated using the facts. I have dozens of examples. You would have to watch 50 of my videos to go through me trying to say there is a difference between claims and facts, performance measures. And all we have is claims with no performance measures whatsoever, none.
Or I guess alternatively, you could start your own YouTube channel and rant about the same thing over and over again.
Thank you. I have. I am. I do.
So if you have new things to say, then please stay on and I like to hear contrarian viewpoints. But
no, he doesn't. He's just telling you that. Ask him if he likes to hear what I do. Just ask him that. And just see if he gives an honest answer.
If you want to just say the same thing and talk about how terrible it is, then either start your own YouTube channel or go find a YouTube channel that talks about that, and there's your community right there.
No, those YouTube channels don't encourage people to lose money. They don't encourage people at all to lose money. These channels are encouraging people to invest in a super high risk venture that has already failed once before and appears to be failing, strongly appears to be failing again. This is the place for the skeptics to be heard and be heard by every new person, especially gullible people. There are still plenty more gullible people in this world, and they need a little bit of protection. And they need at the least the contrary views, the skeptical ideas. And the skeptics who can give explanations are the best ones to keep in the comments.
I'd rather be with a community of people that are trying to build something up rather than destroy it, basically.
We don't try to destroy it. We are saying that it's wanting to self-destruct. But whatever we say is necessary. It's not a gung-ho attempt to destroy something that would probably be valuable in the world. What we're doing is just laying down the facts as they are and letting it live or die on its merits. That's a different thing to wanting to destroy. And once again, this is the way deceivers want to put things to the gullible. Oh, these people are destructive, when they're not. It's not being destructive. We want it to succeed or fail on its merits, but we need to lay down the facts, both good and bad, and let its merits come through and shine. What the real merits of it are, let them come through and shine. If it has merit, it will succeed. But we're not just there to go, I want to destroy this. Not at all. It's never been in my mind to go, my intent is to destroy this at all. No. This is how you're fooled by people. And I don't know whether he's doing it intentionally or whether he's just foolish enough to do it accidentally. Well, I'm not going to go any further into this other nonsense that he has, the buy me a coffee nonsense and stuff. This is far enough. I've had my say. I'm welcome to anybody commenting on my site as to whether it's right or wrong, ethical or sleazy. Tell me whatever you like. I'll let YouTube do the blocking. That's all for me. Bye for now. Stay safe.